Hello traders, welcome back to the Forex Boat Trading Academy, and yet again we are coming up with a new analysis. This time it will be Australian versus Canadian dollar. And before we get started, I would like to remind you that all the information in this video is for educational purpose only and should not be considered as a financial advice. This picture is, I think, straightforward. It's an uptrend. Price on the daily time frame remains above the 50 exponential moving average, and besides we had this clean rejection 4 days ago. What was the most interesting is this resistance, clearly massive resistance on the daily time frame, and here price finally broke and closed above the resistance. So this was the first breakout suggesting the uptrend. Now I have obviously used Fibonacci to apply to this level. There are multiple levels where prior to my adjustment, but I have kept only 627.2 and 527.2. So these two fibs are the most important. We can see that there was a clean rejection already of this level. Considering this bounce of the moving average and the previous level of resistance became the support, which was rejected along with the moving average, I think the trend remains bullish because there was no clear lower lows and lower highs pattern. Besides, price already produced a new high above the previously made high. So this still validates the uptrend, and what I do expect is the move, about 100 pip move. This is a daily time frame, so it should be quite fast, I think 3 or 4 days maximum. So here I would expect the move to the upside towards the first key resistance level at 0.9700. This is obviously a strong psychological resistance, and I think it will be retested, but I also think that there is a high probability that this level will be broken and price will move towards the 0.9822 level. The first level corresponding to 2 fibs, as you have noticed, 522.27.2 and 127.2 applied to this last corrective move to the downside. And as long as daily closing price remains above 0.9425, the uptrend, long-term uptrend, will remain valid. And I think the buying opportunity was provided at this stage when we had a clean rejection. So now 2 days of the growth after the signal. So any kind of pullback might provide a good opportunity for buyers, and I think sooner rather than later we will be hitting one of the resistance. And of course it will be important to watch whether there will be a rejection or breakout, because price could even break above the second resistance, and this could be a massive uptrend, long-term uptrend continuation. So far very bullish, and as I said, we need to see the daily close below this level in order to invalidate bullish forecasts. For now, definitely it is remaining bullish. Okay guys, so that's it on the Australian Canadian for today. We will look now into the previous analysis we made. So back to the oldest one. This is the veteran probably. Moving on to the daily chart here, we also see Australian Swiss franc to the upside. I still expect this move, and besides guys, as I said, we could go quite a long way up. This means the Australian dollar remains strong, and along with the Australian Canadian, these two pairs could be moving along the side to the upside. So still expecting at least this resistance nearest at 0.6760 area to be tested. Euro Swiss franc consolidating, although I think from this point onwards we will have some sort of a fast growth, maybe that would be reasonable, but nonetheless consolidation could be extended. So here I do think we will be testing the resistance very soon, because also consolidation has been going on for quite an extended period of time, so could be a fast move to the upside. Canadian Japanese yen, we have reached the support and it has been rejected. I mean, it has been broken, but now it's being rejected. So look, there was a massive support which price just broke like a knife through the butter. suggesting a very strong downtrend. I think the Canadian dollar will remain to be weak, which complements our Australian versus Canadian dollar analysis for the upside. And this could be the starting point when the trend will continue moving down. And I think this could be very attractive price for sellers. Although I will be finishing with this analysis for this pair because we have reached the support, we have reached the target, and just updating you as to what might be happening. So we'll not be getting back to this pair for the time being. New Zealand Canadian dollar, we have correction to the downside, guys. Moving average, we're holding spikes produced below this initial spike, but nonetheless it failed to close below. So it is a valid analysis. I think there is a good potential for the New Zealand Canadian dollar, especially, guys, considering that Canadian Japanese broke below the support. Australian Canadian, we also expect an uptrend, and here I would expect another 130 pips, 120 pip move to the upside towards the first resistance. Maybe price will go higher, but this is what I would expect. Maybe we will see much higher growth potential so far, but they do correspond to each other, approximately 100 pip move to the upside. New Zealand Swiss franc, the second scenario is in place where we expected a correction move and now the uptrend. So still a valid point here, valid analysis. Don't think we will be going below this low. So I think daily close below will definitely invalidate the bullish outlook. Let's just have a look at the daily time frame. Here we had the rejection of the exponential moving average, but then price closed below. You can see the support, but it rejected the simple 200 period moving average. So the analysis definitely remain valid, but only as long as daily closing price will remain above 60 area. So here looks good for the potential upside move. And finally, Australian versus New Zealand dollar. What we had, guys, is expected move to the downside from this resistance area. I said that the spikes above are possible to test the trend line, which has actually happened. So here we have the idea of this potential move to the downside, and looking at the daily time frame, guys, there was no closure above the resistance. So clearly price closed below. Daily looks pretty good, and on the daily chart we had this clean rejection of the trend line. So this means that the Australian dollar will be rising slower than the New Zealand dollar, if that will be the case on the Australian New Zealand dollar, meaning that Australian dollar will be sluggish. For example, Australian Canadian will be moving slower in relation to the New Zealand Canadian dollar. Also, we have, for example, Australian Swiss franc expecting move to the upside, and it will be moving slower in relation to the New Zealand Swiss franc. So these are basically the view on the market updates. Please let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions for any of these pairs, what is your view on this, and what do you expect personally? So I wish you a profitable trading. Thank you all, guys, for watching. Don't forget to smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and ask your question if you have one. Take care, guys, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.